Why has self-discipline become so uncommon today when it's the very thing capable of rebuilding an entire life? We live in a world where comfort arrives instantly, distractions never stop, and impulses guide more decisions than reason ever does. We want a stronger mind, a sharper body, a focused and meaningful life. Yet again and again, we reach for the easiest option, the softest route, the fastest hit of dopamine. Here is the hard truth. Comfort is quietly eroding the willpower of an entire generation. But this is not a modern problem. 2,000 years ago, the Stoics observed the same pattern in human nature. Marcus Aurelius warned that we grow weak the moment we forget our purpose. Seneca reminded us that discipline must be trained the same way a warrior trains his body. And Epictetus taught that true freedom belongs only to the person who has mastered himself. Self-discipline is not a talent. It is not motivation. It is a way of thinking built through choices repeated every single day. Today, we're breaking down 7 Stoic principles that can reshape your mind, strengthen your character, and develop a level of discipline most people will never understand. Before we begin, comment, "I choose discipline." 1. Voluntary discomfort. Train in hardship. Comfort is a silent enemy. It weakens you without ever announcing itself. Most people run from discomfort as if it were danger, not realizing that every escape makes them mentally softer. The Stoics understood this long before modern life drowned us in convenience. Seneca warned that a person who never prepares for hardship will collapse the moment life becomes difficult. Today, we see that truth everywhere. People breaking under pressure because their minds were never trained to endure it. Strength is not built by avoiding difficulty. Strength is built by choosing it. There is power in deliberately doing what feels uncomfortable. When you step into hardship on purpose, a cold shower, a difficult conversation, a task you've been avoiding, you send a clear message to your mind. I lead, not my impulses. This choice reshapes your identity in a way comfort never can. You stop seeing yourself as fragile and begin recognizing the strength that was always there, just untested. Modern comfort is not harmless. It's a trap disguised as ease. Everything today is designed to make life simpler. Instant food, endless entertainment, dopamine on demand. But with every shortcut, resilience erodes. People don't fall apart because life is too hard. They fall apart because they stopped practicing endurance. Discomfort isn't the enemy. Untrained weakness is. Every time you avoid discomfort, you feed the part of you that quits. Every time you face it, even briefly, you strengthen the part of you that endures. Voluntary hardship becomes practice for real hardship. It raises your tolerance for pain, sharpens your focus under pressure, and reveals that fear is often just a story your mind tells when it wants to retreat. Start with one difficult thing each day and watch your identity change. Choose the cold shower, take the longer walk, do the hardest task first. Resist the urge to escape. These aren't just habits, they are declarations. Each one says, I refuse to be ruled by comfort. I choose what makes me stronger. Discipline begins where comfort ends. The moment you willingly step into discomfort, you stop fearing life's challenges because you finally understand that you were built to overcome them. 2. Control your emotions, or they will control you. Your emotions are not the problem. Obeying them is. Most people live as if every feeling demands action. Anger must explode, fear must freeze, cravings must be satisfied, and discomfort must be avoided. The Stoics saw emotions differently. They viewed them as signals, not commands. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself each morning that people would provoke him, annoy him, disrespect him, and that none of it was harmful unless he allowed it to rule his mind. You don't lose control because life is hard. You lose control because you never learned to pause. Between what happens to you and how you respond, there is a small space. Inside that space lives your discipline. When you pause, even for a single breath, you interrupt the automatic reaction that usually sabotages you. That moment gives you the power to choose clarity over chaos. Epictetus taught that we suffer more from our interpretations than from events themselves. The story you tell yourself in that instant determines everything. An undisciplined mind reacts, a disciplined mind evaluates. Emotions will still rise, temptation, irritation, frustration, fear, but they lose their grip the moment you see them as impulses, not identities. You are not your anger. You are not your cravings. You are not your anxiety. You are the one who observes these emotions and decides what happens next. When emotions lead, discipline disappears. Think about the moments you lost control, eating what you promised yourself you wouldn't, skipping work you said you'd finish, saying words you later regretted, quitting because discomfort grew too loud. Those weren't failures of knowledge, they were failures of emotional regulation. You knew what to do, you just couldn't do it while drowning in feeling. When you lead your emotions, everything becomes easier. Cravings weaken, anger fades faster, fear becomes information, not paralysis. You remain calm in situations that once overwhelmed you. Others sense the difference. They feel your presence, not your volatility. Stoic emotional mastery isn't about becoming cold or numb. It's about choosing your response with precision instead of reacting from chaos. Take a breath before you act. That breath is power. When triggered, pause. When temptation appears, pause. When provoked, pause. That single breath separates your higher self from your impulsive self. It reminds you that controlling your reactions means controlling your life. Master your emotions, and you master your discipline. And once discipline is mastered, you become someone who cannot be easily shaken, manipulated, or broken because nothing inside you is running wild anymore. 3. Stop worshipping motivation. Motivation lies. It shows up when things are easy and disappears when you need it most. Many people wait for the perfect moment, the right mood, the right energy, the right spark. Those moments rarely arrive. When discipline depends on motivation, life becomes inconsistent. This is why so many people start strong and fade quickly. They rely on feeling instead of principle. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that he didn't wake up to seek comfort. He woke up to fulfill his duty as a human being. You don't rise to your goals. You fall to the strength of your habits. The Stoics never worshipped motivation. They trusted action. Action creates momentum. Momentum shapes identity. When you take a step, even a small one, your mind shifts from "I want to do this" to "I am someone who does this." That identity shift is far more powerful than inspiration. Motivation sparks. Identity sustains. Consistency is not born from passion. It is forged in unglamorous moments. Think about the times your life actually moved forward. It wasn't when you felt amazing. It was when you acted anyway. You worked while tired. You pushed while discouraged. You showed up when quitting felt easier. That is where real discipline is born. The Stoics understood that emotions fluctuate, but values do not. They acted from principle, not preference. Waiting for motivation is how dreams fade away. Acting without it is how greatness is built. Every time you choose action over hesitation, the resistance inside you weakens. The task feels less intimidating. The mind becomes quieter. The body grows more willing to move. You begin to realize something most people never do. The hardest part is not the work itself. The hardest part is overcoming the voice that says, "Not now." Once you begin, everything shifts. Do not bargain with the part of your mind that seeks comfort. Train the part that seeks growth. Your future self will not remember how motivated you felt. It will remember whether you acted. Start before you feel ready. Move before inspiration arrives. Build momentum that motivation could never sustain. When you depend on inspiration, progress happens only on good days. When you rely on discipline, every day becomes a brick in the foundation. You act your way into discipline, not the other way around. When you train yourself to move regardless of mood, you access a strength most people never experience. You stop being driven by temporary emotion and start being guided by long-term identity. That identity becomes the base of a disciplined life. 4. Focus only on what you control. You cannot be disciplined if your energy is spent on things you were never meant to command. Most people lose their strength not because they lack ability, but because their focus is scattered. They try to control outcomes, opinions, timing, luck, reactions, and circumstances that do not belong to them. This constant struggle drains their energy and weakens their discipline. Epictetus taught that freedom begins the moment you separate what is yours from what is not. Discipline begins the moment you stop handing your power to things beyond your control. When you try to control everything, you end up controlling nothing. There is a quiet suffering that follows those who obsess over results. Anxiety, restlessness, frustration, self-doubt. They work hard, yet their emotions rise and fall with every outcome. They want progress, but treat every setback as a judgment on their worth. This is not discipline. This is emotional dependence on events. The Stoics understood that the only lasting power is inward power, the ability to govern your actions, not the universe. Your discipline strengthens the moment you anchor yourself to what is truly yours. Your choices, your effort, your attitude, your preparation, your consistency. These are the forces that shape character. When you invest energy here instead of obsessing over results, something changes. You become calmer, sharper, more reliable. Discipline stops rising and falling with circumstance and becomes stable, something you can trust. Most people sabotage discipline by living in the future instead of the present. They worry about reactions, they fear outcomes, they imagine worst-case scenarios and exhaust themselves before action even begins. This fixation on the uncontrollable creates inner chaos. By the time they reach the work, they are already drained. When you bring your attention back to what you can influence right now, the noise fades. Clarity returns. Action feels simple again. Peace is not the absence of problems. Peace is the absence of wasted energy. When you release the weight of what isn't yours, discipline stops feeling like a struggle. You no longer fight the world. You simply execute your role. You show up. You do the work. You allow the rest to unfold as it will. That separation is not weakness. It is wisdom. It is the foundation of emotional strength. Your energy belongs where your control is. Redirect your focus to your habits, your routines, your responses, your resilience. Let results arrive in their own time. Let people think what they think. Let circumstances shift as they will. The only thing you truly own is the quality of your effort, and that is more than enough to build a disciplined, unstoppable life. 5. Build routines, not wishes. Discipline does not come from inspiration, it comes from structure. Most people believe they lack motivation, but what they actually lack is a system. They allow feelings to lead them, and feelings are unreliable. One good day and they feel unstoppable. One bad day and everything falls apart. This inconsistency erodes confidence. The Stoics understood that discipline is built on rhythm, not passion. Predictable, repeatable patterns that carry you forward even when emotions refuse to cooperate. Your routines reveal your future far more clearly than your intentions ever will. You can want growth, imagine success, and dream of a better life, but without consistent rituals, those dreams remain fantasies. Routine turns abstract goals into visible action. It removes the mental debate that drains willpower. When something becomes part of your daily rhythm, you stop asking, "Do I feel like doing this?" You do it because it reflects who you are now. That identity shift is the root of discipline. A disciplined life is built on repetition, not intensity. Anyone can push hard for a day. Anyone can wake up early once. Anyone can act when inspired. Discipline is formed on the days when you don't want to try. Marcus Aurelius wrote reminders to himself not because he lacked wisdom, but because repetition strengthens intention. When you repeat small actions daily, training, writing, planning, studying, you create a life that does not collapse under emotional turbulence. Routines protect you from your weaker self. On tired days, they guide you. On lost days, they anchor you. On noisy days, they quiet the mind. Instead of reacting to your mood, you follow a path you designed in advance. This is how disciplined people stay consistent, not by being strong every single day, but by eliminating decision fatigue from their lives. When your life is chaotic, your mind follows the same pattern. Create order, and discipline naturally follows. Begin by choosing a few simple, non-negotiable actions that represent the person you want to become. They don't need to be dramatic. A morning ritual, a fixed time for deep work, a daily walk, an evening reflection. These small anchors stabilize your day and signal to your mind that you act with intention. Over time, these rituals shape your identity far more powerfully than bursts of motivation ever could. Discipline is identity, not intensity. When your routines reflect who you want to be, your life aligns with your values. Your actions become consistent. Your progress becomes predictable. Your confidence grows because you can trust yourself to show up. This is the quiet, unglamorous truth of discipline. It thrives in repetition, structure, and order, not in fleeting moments of inspiration. 6. Detach from pleasure and impulse. You cannot build discipline if you are dependent on pleasure. Modern life conditions people to chase comfort, stimulation, and instant gratification. Every craving demands an immediate response. Food, entertainment, validation, distraction, dopamine. This constant surrender to impulse weakens the mind. The Stoics taught that a person ruled by desire is never truly free. Seneca wrote that the more pleasures you obey, the more masters you serve. When every impulse has authority over you, discipline becomes impossible. Pleasure itself is not the enemy, dependence on it is. There is nothing wrong with enjoying life. The problem begins when pleasure becomes your default escape from discomfort. When boredom appears, you reach for your phone. When stress rises, you eat. When sadness shows up, you distract yourself. These repeated reactions teach your brain that discomfort must be avoided rather than endured. Over time, your tolerance for struggle shrinks and your impulses grow stronger than your intentions. Discipline disappears quietly in moments like these. A mind that constantly chases stimulation cannot remain focused long enough to build anything meaningful. Each time you check your phone without thinking, skip a task you committed to, or indulge in instant satisfaction, you reinforce the habit of choosing the easy path. Meanwhile, the harder but more rewarding path begins to feel unfamiliar. The Stoics practiced temperance not to deny joy, but to ensure that joy never controlled them. A disciplined mind delays gratification because it values long-term strength over short-term comfort. If you want control over your life, you must first gain control over your impulses. Impulse control is the gateway to discipline. When you pause before reacting, you reclaim authority over your choices. You begin separating what you want in the moment from what you want for your life. This separation is where discipline grows. You realize that not every craving is a command. Not every urge deserves obedience. Not every emotion should dictate behavior. Detachment is not about removing pleasure. It is about removing dependence. Spend a day without your usual comforts, and you will immediately feel how attached your mind has become. That discomfort is not failure. It is where real training begins. The Stoics embraced simplicity because simplicity strengthens the will. When you deny yourself small comforts, your mind sharpens. When you delay gratification, desires quiet down. When you detach from impulse, discipline grows louder. You cannot lead yourself if you obey every urge. Learn to step back instead of indulging. Learn to wait instead of rushing. Learn to choose what builds you rather than what soothes you. The more you detach from unnecessary pleasure, the stronger and more stable your inner world becomes. Discipline thrives in the absence of constant stimulation. A disciplined life is built on intention, not impulse. 7. Memento Mori. Urgency creates discipline. You procrastinate because deep down you believe you have time. Most people move through life as if the clock is endless. They delay their goals, postpone growth, avoid difficult conversations, and wait for the right moment as if life is guaranteed. The Stoics saw procrastination for what it truly is, an illusion created by the belief that tomorrow will always arrive. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily that life is short, fragile, and unpredictable, not to create fear, but to create urgency. Urgency fuels discipline. When you remember that time is limited, priorities become brutally clear. Excuses that once felt reasonable lose their power. The task you avoided becomes meaningful. The dream you postponed becomes urgent. The behaviors you tolerated become unacceptable. Memento Mori is not about dwelling on death. It is about waking up to life. It is the awareness that every minute wasted is gone forever, and every choice is shaping the person you are becoming. Nothing sharpens discipline faster than understanding that time is running out. People think they need motivation to begin. What they actually need is perspective. When you recognize how finite your days are, your mind stops negotiating with comfort. You stop asking, "Do I feel like doing this?" You start asking, "Will I regret not doing this?" That shift forces action. It removes the illusion that you can afford another year of hesitation, another month of fear, another day of weakness. Your future self is shaped by the decisions you keep delaying. Every time you postpone action, you push your life into a future that may never arrive. The project you want to build, the body you want to strengthen, the peace you want to create, the habits you want to master, all of them depend on your willingness to act now. Memento Mori brings honesty to your ambitions. It reveals a hard truth. Comfort has quietly taken years from people who never realized how little time they had left. Urgency does not create anxiety. It creates purpose. The Stoics lived fully because they accepted mortality. They understood that death gives life its sharpness, its direction, its meaning. When you truly accept this, you stop wasting energy on trivial things. You stop chasing approval. You stop fearing discomfort. You begin to act. You begin to live. You begin to become the person you always knew you could be, but never fully committed to becoming. Discipline grows where time feels limited. Live as if you are on borrowed time because you are. Let each day be an opportunity to prove to yourself that you did not waste the gift of being alive. Let urgency move you toward action, not fear. Let purpose shape your discipline. And when hesitation shows up, remember this truth: you don't have forever. Act while you still can. Discipline is not something you practice, it is something you become. Throughout this journey, you've explored the Stoic path to self-discipline, voluntary discomfort, emotional mastery, action over motivation, focus on what you can control, structured routines, detachment from impulse, and the urgency created by remembering your mortality. These are not tricks, they are transformations. They reshape the way you think, the way you show up, the way you live. Discipline is not a switch you flip on. It is an identity you build through repetition, honesty, and commitment. Most people don't fail because they are weak. They fail because they never stay on the path long enough to become strong. The world rewards temporary effort with temporary results, but it rewards discipline with an entirely different life. When you choose discomfort, you grow. When you steady your emotions, you stop being thrown around by every storm. When you act regardless of motivation, you become unstoppable. When you focus on what you control, you preserve your strength. When you build routines, you remove chaos. When you detach from impulse, you reclaim freedom. And when you live with urgency, you finally understand the value of your own existence. The disciplined version of you already exists within you, waiting to be trained, not discovered. You are not meant to stay the same. You are not chained to old habits. You are not powerless against distraction, fear, or impulse. Every day, you cast votes for the person you are becoming. Every choice strengthens one identity or the other, the disciplined one or the undisciplined one. Transformation does not happen in a single moment of inspiration. It happens in countless moments where you choose the harder path, not because you feel like it, but because you promised yourself you would. If you want a stronger life, you must first build a stronger mind. A disciplined mind does not collapse when life becomes difficult. It stands firm, it remains steady, it keeps moving forward when motivation disappears, when comfort tempts you, when doubt whispers that you should stop. That is the essence of Stoicism, doing what is right, what is necessary, what aligns with your highest self, even when it is uncomfortable, especially when it is uncomfortable. The world may never see the battles you fight within, but your life will always reveal who won. Choose a life shaped by intention, not impulse. Choose routines that reinforce your highest values. Choose actions that honor the person you are working to become. Choose clarity over chaos. Choose effort over excuses. Choose urgency over procrastination. And above all, choose discipline, not because it is easy, but because it is the only path that leads to real power, real progress, and real freedom. This is your moment to rise. The life you want will not come from wishing, waiting, or hoping. It will come from discipline. Steady, unwavering, unshakable discipline. Take the first step today. Then take another tomorrow. Keep moving until discipline becomes your destiny.